Foreign Minister, thank you so much for joining me on The Record.
Thank you.
I want to kick off by asking you about President Trump's Board of Peace. What do you envision Turkey's role will be?
Well, first of all, Turkey has been giving great importance to holding the ceasefire in Gaza, because I think our primary objective is really to see that a ceasefire is delivering the results and really making lives of Palestinians and Gazans better. So we think that Board of Peace is an opportunity to advance this agenda, because for a long time, for the last couple of years, as you know, that there was a big war going on, and thousands of people murdered, and now millions of them are suffering. And we think that a Board of Peace is a chance to actually stop this and go back to normal life.
Your president has made no secret of the fact that he believes the Israeli government has been in the wrong throughout that conflict. In terms of what happens with this Board of Peace, there's been a suggestion that a lot of this will have to do with infrastructure development. This will all have to do with potentially making a new Gaza, as U.S. President Donald Trump has suggested. What would you like to see?
Well, of course, we would like to see Gaza is being rebuilt, and people are going back to their normal life, and all the Gazan people are living their life in dignity, in prosperity, in safe and security in Gaza. This is what would you like to see?
Yeah. Is it a problem in your mind that the president's team is so focused on doing this through perhaps commercializing the rebuild?
Well, in our discussions, I think we don't see that much notion coming to the table. It's not about commercialization, but there is the investment leg of the entire enterprise. So when you look at the project, of course, we need investors coming from outside, but mostly we rely on the assistance of the governments, maybe in kind or in direct budget assistance, but we need investment and assistance in big amount.
Yeah. Tell me this, when you look at what the future may hold, do you envision that Turkey would put boots on the ground in Gaza to keep people safe?
Well, Turkey, as our president a couple times made it very clear that we are ready to do everything in our power to make a contribution to the Gaza peace plan. This is our starting point. So just like we became part of Board of Peace, now we are working on the executive committee on Gaza, and we are doing a lot of humanitarian assistance. As such, we are prepared to take part in ISF. But, it's subject to discussions in wider community of the countries.
So you're not ruling it out?
No, we are not ruling out. We are willing to do that. But as I said, it's subject to discussion and agreeing on certain countries. We'll see how it goes.
Do you believe that Donald Trump is going to be able to end hostilities there? And by doing so, I mean take on Israel, because unfortunately Israel continues its violence in Gaza.
Absolutely. Israel, just like you said, has been continuing violating the ceasefire again and again, because we believe that President Trump is the only person who can really put a real pressure on Israel.
Yes.
The the political system and how it works and how Israel plays a role within American political system. So, but we think that Mr. Trump is independent of every objectives of different lobbies, so he can really think independently and he can really take action independently. So if he wants, he has the capacity to put pressure on Israel and stop Israel's wrong behavior.
Tell me this, when you take a step back and look at what's been happening over the last 2 years in the region, and even since U.S. President Donald Trump took office, massive changes. We've seen that axis going from Tehran to Syria and Damascus, all the way down to Lebanon, virtually destroyed when we talk about the Shia axis. In your mind, where does the region go from here?
Well, it's a good question. So when we look at what's happening in Syria, it's actually, we should be a little bit hopeful, and we want to see the ceasefire holding in Gaza. Those are good signs, especially what happened in Syria. Regional countries, United States and the international community have come together for the first time on an issue in Middle East that fast, that quick, and they started delivering something. I think that tells something. If we can repeat this on other problems in our region or globe, we can really make quick achievements. But our region will never be the same. Having said that, our hope and work is about to make it better comparing to the past. So that's why Turkey is trying to play as constructive as possible in the region. So this is very important for us. The regional ownership of the problems are very much important for us, because I think this is in line with the President Trump's overall policy methodology too, because they don't want to be the global police of the global order. So we as Turkey and the regional countries can come together and we can own our problem and we can do whatever is necessary.
Is this a new Ottoman Empire in a sense?
No, we are not saying Ottoman Empire, because Ottoman Empire was about being an empire. Now we are talking about nation states coming together.
Like an Arab NATO?
Yeah, coming together and forming their own platforms and owning their problems, whether economic, political, or security or terror.
Yeah.
Because if we continue to wait hegemon to come and solve our problems, most of the time that problem will not be solved in a way that we would like to see, and the price is very high.
How much of a problem in your mind today is Iran? Because they've been significantly degraded.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, Iran as a neighboring country is a big country in our geography. I think what's happening in Iran is closely related to us as well. Both Arabian Gulf and Turkey and Azerbaijan, the Caucasus, because they occupy huge territory, even to Afghanistan. So stability in Iran is important for all of us. So that's why we've been advising Iran and international community really to sort out their problems through dialogue instead of applying the force. So dialogue is only way to sort out the problems. But as we've seen, starting from the last year, the 12-day war, and another possibility of another kinetic action has been rumored by United States, is not a solution.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, the public dissent and protest and demonstrations in Iran, I think the regime and the government is receiving necessary messages. But because of their own problems with international system, financially and otherwise, it's not easy for the government to deliver the economic means to their own population. So they have to make a change in their foreign policy and some other security policy areas in order to really obtain certain opportunities.
As you said, I mean, this is a different region that we're in today. Yeah. Do you see that inevitably that will lead to regime change in Iran?
Well, we're not talking about that, and I don't believe that it will.
You don't believe we'll see regime change?
No. We don't. No, I don't believe in regime change, but I don't believe what's happening in Iran or around Iran will lead a regime change.
How do you feel about the prospect of American intervention in Iran? Because that's come across several times, not just in the first administration, but now in the second. There has been that suggestion.
Well, I would advise my American friends
don't make this another Venezuela.
No, don't make it. Don't make it. Because, they are already putting a lot of pressure on Iran. The sanctions are really hurting Iranian economy. That's why the people are protesting. But Iran is ready to negotiate. But you need to find a way of negotiating in a right way.
So they don't lose face?
They shouldn't lose face, but if they feel like they've been cornered, they will get ready for the worst case scenario. So if we really want to solve the problems, I believe, because I talk to Iranian friends all the time and American friends all the time. I mean, if there is only one sincere intention, which is solving the problem, I believe that there is an opportunity. Just like in the case of Russia and Ukraine.
Yes.
We can see the same thing between Iran and United States.
Yeah, you've been an interlocutor between Ukraine and Russia. I was there for the first talks between foreign ministers between Russia and Ukraine, and it was held in Turkey. Tell me, in your mind, where do you see that peace process today?
Well, today I spoke to Steve and Jared. Now they are off to Moscow.
They are.
This is going to be a very important trip because for the last at least 2 months, the Europeans, Ukrainians, and the Americans, all of us, we've been talking, discussing about our end of the agreement. So I think everybody has reached an understanding which can be transmitted to the Russians.
Yes.
Now, Steve and Jared, hopefully, when they go to Moscow, when they start discussing with Mr. Putin, I hope that they will reach an understanding largely, but there might be some differences. We'll
Do you see them as having perhaps new leverage with Vladimir Putin that they didn't have in the past?
When you say leverage,
Incentives?
yeah, incentive is better.
Incentives.
Incentive is a better term. Yeah.
And we're talking perhaps economics incentives?
Economic incentives, as Mr. Putin and the Americans get closer and have more dialogue.
He wants back in the international financial system, President
Absolutely,
Putin.
yeah, absolutely.
So you think that might be on the table?
I'm sure it is, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is.
So we're closer now than we have been, in your mind, to getting a deal?
Yes.
Absolutely.
This is the closest ever.
Tell me this, when you take a step back and look at the region, obviously so many different things happening with Syria. You've been a strong supporter of al-Shara and his government. There is still a group of people who look at him askance and say, what are we doing backing a terrorist? Walk me through, in your mind, how this is all going to play out, because he's not just got to win the hopes and minds of, hearts and minds of his own people, of course. He's also got to prove through actions to the West that he's the guy to be running Syria and to be backing.
Yeah. Look, I mean, if we remember what happened just after Bashar Assad fled the country, in the first week, as regional countries, we came together, first in Amman, then in Cairo. Then European friends, the American friends, they also joined our meetings. And our position was, look, let's decide on certain things, which is, let's define what we want from any government sitting in Damascus. Not Ahmed Shara, not anybody else. Just forget about their names, but what is our priorities from what we want from a government sitting in Damascus. So we identified 4 or 5 priorities for all of us. No threat to the neighboring countries, no cooperation with terrorist organizations, and no persecution of the minorities and other ethnic and religious groups, and territorial integrity and unity of the country. Those are the 4 basic things that everybody wanted to see.
Because you guys have been suffering. I mean, the refugee situation alone has cost your economy.
Yeah, refugee and terrorism.
Yes.
2 big things for us. So we transmitted this to Ahmed Shara's friends. Look, this is what regional countries and we want from you. If you can deliver, everybody will help you. If you cannot deliver or go against those things, people will stop supporting you and will start working against you. So it's a reasonable ban. He saw all these things, he accepted, and now ever since then, I think everybody is reasonably happy with the work that he's been doing.
Tell me this, you've just had a big win when it comes to the Kurds, when it comes to your security as a nation. Walk me through how that all evolved.
Well, first of all, we've been telling right from the beginning that you cannot kill a monster with another monster. What the United States did during the Mr. Obama time, a plan fighting against ISIS together with PKK. It was not a good plan. And we were told that it was going to be a very temporary one, almost 2 years. Now, it passed more than 10 years. Now this is where we are. And finally, Mr. Trump is really making a huge correction on behalf of the United States system, because we are a NATO ally of the United States. You cannot support as a NATO ally a terrorist organization which is enemy to another NATO country. So now that mistake is being now corrected. We are happy about that. But having said all these things, we see PKK, it is not sole representative of the Kurds in Syria. When I see some international reporting or citing or narratives that presenting SDF, YPG, the only representative of the Syrian Kurds, are not correct. There are more than 12 political parties sent to exile by PKK. So now we want to see the Syrian Kurds living in dignity, safety, and security as part of Syria. We want them to be part of the bigger Syria, not to be minority of the Syria. So if necessary, right from the beginning, that we've been defending the rights of the Kurds in Syria, because if you remember, Bashar Assad was denying citizenship to many Kurds living in Syria. I remember during my previous mission as chief of intelligence for 13 years, in 2010-11, President Erdogan was sending me to Bashar Assad to ask from him to give citizenship to their own Kurds. So he was not doing this, but now Ahmed Shara and his people, they are correcting these historical mistakes. What we want to see, what we have in our country as constitutional citizenship, and everybody is equal, everyone can enjoy their identity, religion, ethnicity, and can be part of bigger power and bigger wealth instead of being a minority. We want to see the same in Syria. So this is where we are.
Tell me this. I thought it was interesting when I was looking at the visuals coming out of the Trump meeting just a few moments ago here at the World Economic Forum, the Board of Peace. You were seated next to your Saudi counterpart.
Yes.
I've been covering the region for quite a while, and following the Arab Spring, it seemed as if the no friends policy or no enemies policy of the Turkish government made a lot of enemies. You've made a major shift in how you're dealing with the region. What's behind that new philosophy?
Well, just like you said, I mean, we want to make friends in the region, and we understand some realities, and we think that...
Because the old policy wasn't working for you.
The old policy was, the old understanding in the region, not working for anybody, because, we needed more dialogue, because they saw that we are keeping our ground, we saw that they are keeping their ground. So why being separated? We can come together, we can sort out our problems, and we can create a new environment while preserving our own differences. This is a mature state behavior, We need to know how to put our differences in parentheses and then move on the joint agenda. Now what we've done collectively together on Gaza, on other regional issues, on Syria, it is a huge hope for our, but they are there and we are. So without, by understanding each other's position, I think we can do a lot of work together. Behind the scenes, a lot went. I don't want to go into details. Maybe one day I can speak off the record. But I saw a lot of cooperation and goodwill from our Arab friends, and they saw a lot of cooperation and goodwill from President Erdogan and from us. So this is how we have gotten here.
Tell me this: you are a NATO member. You've had many years to work with your European and American colleagues. I remember, not too long ago, there were conversations about Turkey joining Europe and the European financial and economic model. And in the years that Turkey's economy was flying, the Europeans were doing not so well, and they were desperate to get you guys on board. How do you describe that relationship today? Because frankly, whether it be on energy or other things, the priorities don't always necessarily align between Turkey and its European counterparts.
Well, today I think we have more common points. So Turkey has been a candidate country for EU for a long time.
Do you think that will ever actually happen?
Well, as long as EU has the mind of identity politics towards Turkey, I think it will never happen.
Yeah.
Because as we keep saying, EU has managed to become a supranational institution, but they failed to become a supra-civilizational one. And they will never ask this question themselves. When it comes to Turkey, they follow identity politics because they see us belonging to a different religion and different civilization. So I think this is exactly what our world needs as an answer to the problems of the humanity. So if different civilizations coming together under one roof and living under
which is really what this forum is supposed to be about.
Yeah, but mainly, up until 2007, until Mr. Sarkozy came to power in France, I think two major European countries, France and Germany, they had a political will to have Turkey as member of EU, provided that Turkey meets the conditions and the rules. This is fair, that you are measured and you want to meet the rules of the and standards of the EU. And up until 2007, this was the case. But when Mr. Sarkozy came to power, he changed this understanding. He adopted, identity politics. We are Christian Europe, so we don't want to see Turkey as part of our, unity.
Do you see that happening with the rise of far-right parties in France and Germany today?
Well, that was the idea 20 years ago. That was the reasoning when he didn't want us. He said, look, it will give a rise for far-right in Europe. So what happened was, we have not become a part of EU, but
and the far right happened anyway.
Anyway, so we keep telling again, if we had been a part of European Union, we would have not seen Brexit, and Europe in general would have been much more resilient in the face of current
so
security.
Turkish membership in the EU would have saved the UK from Brexit, as you were saying.
Yes, and
how?
And UK was always looking at broader EU because they didn't want to see the core of the power of EU is just
in Brussels.
Yeah, so but it will be a balancing act. Now we are outside of EU on the eastern and western flank, and we are having a strategic dialogue with UK because we have some priorities and we have same positions vis-a-vis EU and with our region, but. There is more to that because when you look at our current security problems in the region, EU has been living under American protection for a long time because EU was possible because of American protection, but in the absence of American protection, so EU is now seeking for a new security architecture. So if, as I said, UK had been a member of EU, Turkey had been a member of EU, I think in our region...
You think European defense would already be secure?
Yeah, and then we would have created our own center of gravity because now we are looking at different superpowers, either America or China or Russia. We are drifted away. Most of the time our interests may not comply with their own interests. So it puts us in a very difficult position. Yeah. So it was possible for all of us, if we had come together, that we could have
avoided that.
Yeah,
avoided it. And final question. To that end, when you look at what's happening in Europe today, whether it be on the security front, we've just seen in the last 3 days, not just the impact on financial markets and the bond markets, but also, frankly, on the goodwill of these European leaders towards America over Greenland. So in your mind, if you look at this, plus the economic challenges facing major European countries like Germany, like France, like the United Kingdom, perhaps Turkey's well out of it.
Well, that's fate. So, yes, some people say so. Some people say so.
Well, what would you say?
Well, I say, unity is always better for everybody because sometimes it's not about what you receive as a positive contribution to your own country, but sometimes it's about what you don't get as a negative effect to your country. And we believe in unity all the time because we live in this region. We live in parts of Europe, we live in parts of Middle East, we live in parts of Caucasus and Black Sea and Mediterranean, and we believe in regional cooperation and integration. This is full stop. That's why sometimes we see that it's better for us to be out of it, but sometimes 2 years later you will say that I wish we would have been a part of it. Our trade balance with the European Union is the most perfect one. Is 230 billion euros and almost equal, 50-50. There is no trade deficit on both sides. So we are enjoying huge trade activities between two camps. But security would have been the same, but not now.
Yeah. Did you think that President Trump was going to put troops in Greenland? You're in NATO, you would know.
Well, I think what happened yesterday after his speech, I think a lot of people now they had a good night's sleep.
Foreign Minister, it's great to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.